These Hollywood leading men may have put 60 behind them, but they're married to some of the most beautiful women out there. Together, these couples make headlines whenever they step out in public. George Clooney met his wife Amal in Italy in July 2013. At the beginning of their romance, all eyes were on Amal. People wondered if she'd be the woman who would take Clooney off the most eligible bachelor list once and for all. And, spoiler alert, she did. The two fell in love and tied the knot in September 2014.
I got a call from my agent who called me and said, I met this woman who's coming to your house who you're going to marry.
While accepting a humanitarian award in Florence, Italy, Clooney said, I met my lovely bride-to-be here in Italy, whom I will be marrying in a couple of weeks, in Venice of all places. I would just like to say to my bride-to-be, Amal, that I love you very much and I can't wait to be your husband. 3 years after the wedding, the Clooneys welcomed twins Alexander and Ella. Through marriage and motherhood to her high-profile work as a human rights attorney, Amal still turns heads anytime she steps out. Comedy legend Eddie Murphy married Australian-born model Paige Butcher in July 2024. The pair had been together for more than a decade when they decided to make things official, exchanging vows on the island of Anguilla. Butcher began her modeling career as a teenager. Of course, it helped that her mother was a fashion designer. In 2013, she explained to Vanity Fair, I was modeling for my mum's stuff and everybody said, you should be a model. So at 13, I started really taking it more seriously. Over the years, Butcher has accompanied Murphy to all kinds of events, showing off her stunning looks on red carpets around the globe. Beauty doesn't usually rely on heavy makeup, and when it comes to fitness, she prefers to stay active without hitting the gym every day. She admitted, I like going to the beach in Venice and riding my bike for a couple hours. I get very bored working out. I would rather do something fun. Harrison Ford and Calista Flockhart have one of the most successful marriages in Hollywood. They've been an item since 2002, after meeting at the Golden Globe Awards. Over the past 2 decades, Flockhart has wowed at countless events on the arm of her very own Indiana Jones. Flockhart and Ford have a 22-year age difference, but in a 2003 interview with Hello magazine, she said, it doesn't faze me. Sometimes I even say, wow, I keep forgetting that he's 22 years older than me. It doesn't factor into our relationship at all. In March 2025, Flockhart made headlines when she decided to attend the new group's 30th anniversary gala in New York without makeup. She walked the red carpet completely fresh-faced, with her signature short hair slightly curled as it bounced off her shoulders. The Ally McBeal star appears to have embraced the aging process and isn't shy about showing off her good looks. Robert Duvall married his 4th wife, Luciana Pedraza, in 2005 after the two met in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Duvall was in a bakery when Pedraza's friends encouraged her to invite him out. Speaking to the Austin Chronicle in 2003, Pedraza admitted, I didn't want to, but my friends said, go invite him to our party, he loves the tango. So we walked around the block and talked. I said, Mr. Duvall, here's my card. If you want to come to this party, my friends would love to have you, with no expectations. And he came. The two are very supportive of one another and have even done quite a few projects together over the years. Duvall and Pedraza share the same birthday. But while Duvall was born in 1931, Pedraza was born more than 40 years later in 1972. It hasn't slowed down their love story. In a 2010 interview with The Washington Post, Duvall joked, she's much younger than I am. When I met her father, he said, I don't know whether to call you father or son. Tom Hanks and his gorgeous wife, Rita Wilson, have a love story for the ages. Married since 1988, Hanks and Wilson have been by each other's sides through thick and thin. The two first met on the set of the sitcom Bosom Buddies way back in 1981. What started off as a friendship blossomed into something truly lovely.
I must say that when I met Rita, I thought, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like when you're married to somebody.
Wilson was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015, followed by a double mastectomy. She told the New York Times, you never know how your spouse is going to react in a situation like this. I was so amazed, so blown away by the care my husband gave me. Who knew it would make you even closer? Hanks and Wilson spend a great deal of time together in Greece, and it seems that the Mediterranean way of life agrees with Wilson as she approaches her 70th birthday. Richard Gere and Alejandra Silva went public with their relationship in 2018 when they announced their plans to get married and start a family, despite their 33-year age gap. The brunette beauty hails from Spain, and in 2024, Gere announced that they and their 2 kids would be moving back to her home country. Speaking with Vanity Fair Spain, Gere said, for Alejandra, it will be wonderful to be closer to her family, her lifelong friends and her culture. She was very generous in giving me 6 years living in my world, so it is only fair that I give her at least another 6 living in hers. A few months later, Gere did an interview with El España in which he talked about how happy he and his wife have been, sharing, the truth is that you are seeing us in our momentum. We are happier than ever. She because she is at home, and I because if she is happy, I am happy. Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones have been serving looks since 1998.
I said to her after about half an hour, you know, I'm going to be the father of your children.
Following a brief split in 2013, Douglas chatted with Ellen DeGeneres about reconciling with his wife, explaining, "It can't be a one-way street, but I'm crazy about her. And yeah, I think every couple has their difficult times. The only problem is, as you well know, we are all in the public eye, and it tends to get a little more exposed than most. We're back stronger than ever." Most recently, Zeta-Jones has been seen in the iconic role of Morticia Addams on Netflix's series Wednesday. Moreover, Zeta-Jones seems to be having the time of her life playing Addams, telling The Hollywood Reporter, "I'd be very happy to play Morticia to the end of my days." Alec Baldwin got a second chance at love in 2011 when he met Hilaria Baldwin, born Hilary Haywood Thomas. They locked eyes, and something told him she was someone he needed to get to know, and so he did what any regular guy would do. He gave Hilaria his card and encouraged her to call him. She did, but she admitted to the New York Times that she wasn't sure if it was the right move. Turns out, it was. The couple tied the knot in June 2012 and went on to have 7 children together, building a whole new life on a chance meeting.
Married life is really nice. You know, it feels different.
7 kids is enough to keep anyone busy, but through it all, Hilaria has kept up with her passion for yoga. And yes, she still looks amazing even after so many pregnancies. In 2025, Hilaria was cast on season 34 of Dancing with the Stars, where she showed off her personality and her dance talent. Unfortunately, she and her ballroom pro partner, Gleb Savchenko, were voted off the show during week 3. Full House star John Stamos found his person later in life, and it seems he really won the lottery with wife Caitlin McHugh. The pair met on the set of Law & Order SVU and wed in 2018. At the time, Stamos was 55 years old and McHugh was 32. A short while later, she gave birth to a baby boy, making Stamos a dad. Over the past few years, Stamos hasn't been shy about praising his wife and letting everyone know that he finds her beautiful. In an October 2017 interview with People magazine, Stamos explained, "We're a perfect balance. I'm like hyper intense and she's like, 'It's cool, man, everything's fine.' She's so calm and so graceful, which I'm not either of those things. So it's a great balance. And she's just a pure, authentic beauty. Like she's not trying to be something she isn't. She doesn't care about money or showbiz." McHugh has worked as an actress and a model, but more recently, she has shifted her focus to being a mum and prioritizing her health. In an interview with E! News in 2024, McHugh said that she decided to take a step back from the entertainment business, but she still keeps plenty busy, adding, "I've got a bracelet company and I recently started a non-profit." Annette Bening is the lovely wife of Warren Beatty. The two first met while filming Bugsy in 1991, and the rest of their love story is history. The couple says they've managed to keep their marriage exciting by building a strong foundation and by keeping open lines of communication. In a 2016 appearance on Today, Bening shared, "I think in some ways we're very different. Some ways we're alike, but the differences, I think, help us, and there's some fire there. We want the same things." At the time, the two had been married for almost 25 years. Bening, who's known for her roles in films like American Beauty and The Kids Are All Right, always brings an air of elegance to the red carpet. In an interview with AARP that was published in 2019, journalist David Hockman remarked that Bening appeared taller in person and suggested it could be due to her confidence and ease. Indeed, Bening seems to light up the room when she enters, and one could easily argue that the way in which she carries herself makes her even more stunning.